we got marriage maintenance week 3. So here we go. I want to give you just a brief recap overview. How did we get here and where are we going? So we started this 2 weeks ago. We started talking about marriage maintenance, this 30-day challenge. So one of the things we wanted you to do, that we were challenging everybody, all the couples in our church to do, is to put some effort into, some thought into connecting with each other daily in 3 different areas. Spiritual intimacy, emotional intimacy, and physical intimacy. And I know we didn't talk about that a whole lot of like what exactly do we mean, but you can certainly take a swing at it. So spiritual intimacy, man, we want to pray together. We want to spend some time in the Word together. We want to fast together. We want to do some things that encompass this kind of spiritual disciplines and spiritual life. Emotional intimacy, that we want to talk and listen and hear, and we want to process things together. We want to connect with each other emotionally and then physically. Man, we want to work on the physical aspect of our relationship and put some effort in there. So we're going to talk about all that again, but that's what's going on daily. We want you to be putting some thought there daily. How do we guard each other? How do we serve each other? What does this look like within our marriage relationship? So then week 1, if we back all the way up outside of daily, we've given you some things to do weekly. So week 1 was this assessment. We want to get our bearings. Where are we? How did we get there? What do we need to put some work into? So if you haven't done the assessment yet, I encourage you, go back, do the assessment. This gives you a good starting point to know where we are, even when a lot of times we make assumptions in our marriages, and it's good to go back and ask a few questions. So week 1 was an assessment. Week 2 was confession, repentance, forgiveness, and burial. So the whole aim of week 2 was, how do we hit reset? We recognize there are some things going on. They might be big things in our marriages that we need to work on. They might be little things, but we need to hit reset instead of just rolling on and continuing to deal with them in the way that we've been dealing with them. It's helpful if we can kind of stop, deal with them, and let's reset this. So that's what that looks like. Confession, repentance, forgiveness, and burial. You can find that video from last week. This week, what we're looking into is we're going to dive into and talk about these 3 different areas of intimacy in our marriages that we've been kind of working on, focusing on daily. So I'm going to put out a video for each one of these areas. So we're going to talk spiritual intimacy and what do we mean and what are we working on, emotional intimacy, and the crazy significance of this emotional intimacy. And this is one of the kind of the key spot here. This is where a lot of we get in a lot of danger. Also physical intimacy. What does that look like and what do we mean? Sure, that's sex and sex life and whatever, but there's a lot of other things that are encompassed there in physical intimacy. And really kind of overarching the idea of intimacy, of there being some things that you share together with your spouse that you don't share with anybody else. And those things should exist in those 3 areas. So and I'm praying for you, praying for families, marriages that we've got in our church. I think it's a great thing for us to be putting some work into this, and hopefully coming off of assessment and off of confession, repentance, forgiveness, that we can ramp up over the next 2 weeks as we kind of press into this together leading up to the marriage maintenance dinner, which will be November the 3rd. So keep checking back. We're going, like I said, we're putting out 4 or 5 other videos this week, so they'll be kind of rapid fire just about every day. That's it. We're starting week 3.